The clock was ticking. The grand halls of Sandringham House were glowing with the warm light of chandeliers, reflecting off the polished floors and antique mirrors. New Year's Eve was supposed to be a joyous occasion for the royal family, a moment to leave behind the trials of the past year and embrace the possibilities of the next. But this year, the evening took an unexpected and shocking turn that no one in attendance, or watching the monarchy from afar, could have predicted. As the royal family gathered to toast the arrival of 2025, King Charles III, at the age of 76, seemed pensive yet composed. Surrounded by senior royals, including Queen Camilla, Prince William, and Kate Middleton, the atmosphere was one of cautious celebration. The family had faced countless challenges over the past year, and tonight was meant to be a brief respite from the drama. But suddenly, a figure entered the room, one whose presence sent a ripple of tension through the gathering. It was none other than Prince Harry. Yes, Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, who has been at the center of an ongoing rift with the royal family since his bombshell interviews, memoir, and Netflix series shook the monarchy to its core. His surprise arrival at Sandringham was as unexpected as it was dramatic. And just minutes later, King Charles III would collapse, leaving everyone stunned and desperate for answers. What happened in those final moments leading up to the king's shocking collapse? And what role did Prince Harry's appearance play in this New Year's Eve drama? Let's unravel the story step by step. King Charles III has always been a figure of resilience, carrying the weight of the crown and the expectations of a nation well into his 70s. However, recent months have taken their toll on him. The unending scrutiny of the royal family, combined with personal tensions, has left him visibly more fragile. The king's health has been a topic of quiet concern for those closest to him. While he has maintained a busy schedule of royal engagements, his advisors have reportedly urged him to scale back and focus on his well-being. But Charles, ever the dutiful monarch, refused to slow down. New Year's Eve, however, was meant to be different, a rare opportunity to relax in the company of his loved ones. Sandringham House, the royal family's traditional holiday retreat, was alive with laughter and music as the countdown to midnight drew closer. The King and Queen Camilla were seated at the head of the grand dining table, surrounded by the Prince and Princess of Wales, their children, and a handful of trusted family members. The mood was light, though traces of unresolved tension lingered beneath the surface. Then came the moment that no one had anticipated. Just as the evening seemed to be reaching its peak, the doors to the room swung open, and Prince Harry stepped inside. The room fell silent. For a moment, it seemed as if time itself had paused. All eyes were on Harry, who stood there looking both nervous and determined. His arrival was completely unannounced. There had been no word of his intention to join the family for New Year's Eve, and given the strained relationship between Harry and the royals, it was no surprise that his appearance left everyone in shock. Prince William's expression hardened instantly. The tension between the brothers has been widely documented, and this moment was no exception. Kate Middleton's calm demeanor faltered for just a second, her eyes darting toward her husband, who sat rigidly in his chair. Camilla looked at Charles, whose face had gone pale. Harry took a step forward, his voice steady yet tinged with emotion. "I didn't come here to cause trouble," he said. I wanted to see you, Dad." The room remained silent, the weight of his words hanging heavily in the air. For King Charles, the emotional strain was visible. He had always been caught in the middle of the feud between his sons, and tonight was no different. Charles slowly rose from his chair, his movements careful and deliberate. He looked at Harry with an expression that was equal parts sadness and longing. "You shouldn't have come," he said softly, his voice barely audible. But before Harry could respond, Charles began to sway. His hand reached out to steady himself on the edge of the table, but it was too late. The king collapsed to the floor, his body crumpling like a marionette whose strings had been cut. Panic erupted in the room. Camilla was the first to react, rushing to her husband's side as she called out for help. William and Kate sprang into action, while Harry froze in place, his face a mask of shock and guilt. A royal aide quickly summoned the palace's medical staff, who arrived within moments to attend to the king. As Charles lay unconscious on the floor, the once festive atmosphere had turned into one of chaos and fear. The family was visibly shaken, each grappling with their own emotions. Camilla clutched Charles's hand, her face pale as she whispered words of comfort, hoping he could hear her. William, ever the protective son, shot a glare at Harry that spoke volumes. Though he said nothing, the tension between them was palpable. For Harry, the weight of the moment was overwhelming. He had come with the intention of reconciling, of making amends with his father, and perhaps even his brother. But instead, his unexpected arrival seemed to have triggered a crisis no one could have foreseen. The royal doctors worked swiftly to stabilize King Charles, and after what felt like an eternity, he began to regain consciousness. His eyes fluttered open, and he looked around the room, disoriented but alert. A wave of relief washed over everyone, but the questions lingered. What had caused the collapse? Was it the stress of seeing Harry, the toll of his responsibilities, or something deeper related to his health? As the king was carefully helped into a chair, he looked at Harry with a mixture of exhaustion and emotion. "I know why you came," he said weakly, "but you have to understand, this family is holding on by a thread." Harry's eyes filled with tears. "I just wanted to talk to you," he said, his voice cracking, "to try and fix things." But it was clear that tonight was not the time for reconciliation. The royal doctors insisted that King Charles be taken to a private wing of the estate to rest and recover, away from the stress and strain of the gathering. Camilla stayed by his side, her worry evident as she supported her husband through the ordeal. The rest of the evening was subdued, with the royal family dispersing to their respective quarters. Harry, understanding the gravity of what had happened, left the estate quietly, his hopes for reconciliation dashed, for now. The world woke up on New Year's Day to headlines that would dominate the news cycle for weeks. King Charles III collapses on New Year's Eve. Prince Harry's surprise appearance sparks royal drama, and tensions explode within the royal family. Speculation about the king's health has only grown since the incident. While palace officials have downplayed the event as a result of exhaustion and stress, insiders suggest that the emotional strain of the ongoing family rift is taking a serious toll on Charles. As for Prince Harry, his intentions may have been genuine, but the fallout from his surprise appearance has only deepened the divide within the royal family. The path to reconciliation remains uncertain, with trust and emotion strained to their limits. The new year has begun with a moment that will undoubtedly go down in royal history. One that underscores the fragility not just of a family, but of an institution navigating unprecedented challenges. For King Charles III, his health and legacy hang in the balance. For Prince Harry, the question remains, can broken bonds ever truly be repaired? As the monarchy steps into a new chapter, one thing is clear: the challenges they face are far from over. This is a family caught between tradition and change, between duty and personal emotion, and the world is watching every step of the way.